Good morning, everybody. I'm just about to dye my hair, so I thought I would quickly hit record and show how I do my hair because I get so many questions about it with my red. So obviously it's time to do, my roots are greasy, but they're brown and gray. And my ends are quite a different color than what they used to be. My hair is quite long. So, it's quite long and thick. So, we'll see how this goes. I usually do this once every month and a half to 2 months. I think the last time I did my hair was spring break, and it's now like middle May. So I try to do it around there. And part of my voice, I've been sick for a week with a sick toddler. So if you hear him too, that's what that is. Things that you're going to need to do this. Gloves, a bowl and a brush. Brush your hair first. That's like the first step. 20 volume. I just got this from Sally's. And I use L'Oreal hicolor highlights in red. This shocked me at the store because I was amazed that the price went up so much. It went up to like $18 for one tube, which is crazy. You don't use this by itself. You mix this with 1 to 2 of developer. So it does kind of stretch out a bit. And then that's for the first step. Hold on a second. And then here's my sick little boy. And then I use Vaseline, which I use to not be red-faced. I get it all around so that my head is not stained red. And I need a hair clip. And that's just for my roots. And then I'll go back in after I do my roots. And I'll go back in with my XMONDO, Brad Mondo's color line of super red. This is amazing. As somebody who has had many colors of hair and has had red hair for years now, this is the best hair dye I have ever used. It deposits, it doesn't run everywhere as soon as it gets wet, and it smells great, and it really conditions my hair really, really well. All right, so let me get this guy settled. Yeah, and I'll be right back to start doing my hair. First step, Vaseline, just around the edges and my ears and my neck. So this is the color key. Highly recommend you get one of these. It's just from Sally's. What happens is it just clips onto the bottom of your tube of color. And then, while you're squeezing it out, you just turn the key. And it comes out so nicely. So I feel like Brad Mondo would not like this, but all I do is I kind of eyeball 2 parts developer to 1 part of color, and then it gets like this type of a consistency. It's a little chunky, so I'm gonna keep mixing it, but it just kind of, I don't know, like a ketchup consistency, a little bit more watery, like a little bit more watery, not too much because you want it to stick to the hair. And then I'm gonna start at the bottom of my hair in thin sections. Like I think about like when I'm sectioning it, I just picture like, will the dye go through that section? But I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't really do super professional thin ones. I just kind of know what works for my hair. So do what works for you, but make sure that this, like, if you're putting it on the top, that it's gonna seep through and it's not gonna get blocked by too thick of a piece of hair. Okay, so I got my first section here. Look. Not much, you can see through it. I'm going to start by putting the color underneath it first. So what I'm going to do is lift up the hair and all my little brown little pieces under there. I'll get another coat. Always going in the direction of the hair. And then I'm going to put it down. Put more on the top. And while I'm there, up the roots of the section above. That's it. I'm going to go through and do the rest of my hair. Okay, so I've taken the next section down, and I'm just going to put it on top, put a little bit more on the bottom, and then I rub it too, to make sure that it really gets in there. So, top and bottom, this is not the way that I normally do it, but I'm doing that just for the video. I don't really do this, just in a different step. And then rubbing it all together. You can kind of pull it down a little bit, but I don't want to wreck the rest of my hair because this is lifting the brown, so I don't want it too much on the red. And then, yeah, I'm going to continue around. I get to here, it's the same thing, and at the top, it's all this pretty much the same thing. I'll show a little bit more when I get to the top. Okay, so when I get to the top of my hair, I just took this all out of the clip. What I do is I start taking sections from the side, and then I'll paint it all the way back. And then I'll flip this way, and I'll work that way through what I have left at the top. All right, so when I get to this point, I like to just go around a little bit and clean up where there's red on my face, which the Vaseline helps a lot with. So you can see, because I put Vaseline there, it just wipes off. And parts that are not like in the hairs that are like that, I usually just use like micellar water after on my scalp. Or if I'm really desperate, some Windex, because that works too. And then I use that and I wipe it off. So I just like to wipe off the extra. And then I will cover my hair. I have this like shower cap that's like a reusable shower cap, which obviously I've been using for a long time for red hair. And I just put this on like this, just so that it keeps my roots covered, so I don't get hair dye everywhere. And then I let it sit for 30 to 40 minutes. I probably do around 40, just because, I don't know, maybe it stops lifting at 30 and then I'm just being extra, but I still let it sit for 40 just in case. See you after. Okay, so I let it sit for 40 minutes, and Now I'm gonna rinse it out. I'm gonna use just water to rinse it out. I'm not gonna put conditioner or shampoo or anything because I'm still gonna be putting color to deposit on after it. And I kind of want to like open up the cuticles. I know shampoo would kind of open them up even more, but yeah, I'm just gonna rinse it out. So this is how it looks right after washing it, but the bottoms are still really gross colored, so I gotta dry it again. So I have dried my hair since doing just my roots with the high lift. You can see it's pretty well lifted. Like it's a little tiny bit darker, but I'm gonna go over top of the whole thing because my ends are crazy and different colored. So I'm gonna go back over the whole thing with my XMONDO Super Red, and this will make it so much better. And it will make it so uniform and so soft. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, same way up that I did before, and put Vaseline on first, obviously, and make sure we wear gloves because this part gets messy. Okay, so I'm ready to put the color in. I've got my thin section pieced out. Got my color. It's half gone because I used half of it last time. You can see the difference in my ends versus my roots. Crazy. All right, time to start applying. Okay, so I ran out of color from that one, but I have another full container. So I'm gonna keep going because I wanna make sure my hair is really, really, really saturated. Okay, it's all fully saturated. Now I'm gonna cover it again, and I'm gonna wait. I know it says 20 minutes on the container, but I'm gonna wait 40. All right, so I blow dried it and straightened it after I rinsed it out. And you can see it's like a way more uniform color. And it just looks so much better. And it feels so much better. And it's so much softer. You wanna say hi with your toothbrush? Yeah, so there she is.